Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. I am sorry about that. A minute ago, I just premiered this video and there was some technical difficulty, but in any case, I am back now. And this is the Virgo video. And once again, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for having patience with me as I get through all of my technical issues. All right, but here I am. And let's get right into it. All right, let's get right into your reading. Once again, let me just remind you at the beginning of the video that, of course, this is the deck I'm giving away on my channel this month. It's the same deck that I will be using in my video today. So all you have to do to be eligible to win that is to go ahead and be subscribed to my channel and leave me a comment letting me know that you are interested in the giveaway, and that's it. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and pull out your oracle cards. Excuse me. I hope everyone out there is being safe, staying healthy, staying kind to each other. All of that good stuff, right, Virgo? Let's go ahead and see what kind of spirits you have with you this week. We're going to pull out 3 spirits from my beautiful Spirits of Darkness and Light deck. I do love this deck. And see what kind of spirits are working with you this week, Virgo. All right, straight out, we have Spirit of the Staircase. Interesting. Ascension. Actually, a minute ago when I first started this video, this card came out. Spirit of Armor. So protection, guarding yourself, defensive, being tactical, some of you. Spirit of Gold. Wow. So we're talking about wealth, status. You know, I'm going to need to move these up. I know I'm going to need the room because these cards are so big. So, Spirit of the Staircase. So ascension, progress, you know, the staircase, you know, transcending. And then beautiful Spirit of Gold, wealth and status, a windfall can be associated with a windfall. It's really, really beautiful. And of course, Spirit of Armor. Now, Spirit of Armor has come out a lot from my readings recently. So let's take a look at your animal spirits. And we're going to see what that's all about and see what kind of animal spirits are walking with you this week, Virgo, just to see. Sometimes animal spirits can be people that you're dealing with, or it could be energies that you're resonating with, right? So let's just see. I do hope everything's all right with the sound now. So in any case, I'm not going to stop the video this time. I'm just going to plug on through. All right, guys, we have the snake. So the snake is associated with creativity, right? I want to say really that, you know, that snake eating itself, it's the sign for infinity. Well, not infinity per se, but the infinite potential of creativity rather, right? We have the swan. The swan's been showing up a lot lately for people. And we have the spider. So the spider is associated with Dharma and right living. You know, the way what we consider to be the right way to live according to our own spiritual center. That's what we associate with Dharma. So before we go ahead and get into your actual spread from the beautiful creatures deck, let's go ahead and take a look at your animal spirits. Now, your animal spirits here, hang on one second, just making sure everything's all right here. So your animal spirit here, the snake, is an earth animal spirit, beautiful, beautiful earth animal spirit, talking about really tapping into your creative potential, right? You know, the snake eating its tail, I was going into that a minute ago. It's symbolic of the infinite amount of potential that we all have when we are tapping into our creative energy, right? So the snake is talking about that now in your life. So Virgo, for some of you, you're already an earth sign. You're already a generally very creative sign, Virgos. Snake coming in means that you're tapping into some new potential for yourself, right? You may be tapping into a new well of creative potential. You may be going down a different road or just really discovering new layers to that, right? And realizing along the way that the discovery is infinite. There's always more for you to tap into. Now, being an earth animal spirit, this is very earthy. It's very grounded in the material. So some of you are going to actually be creating things. You may be working with your hands. You may be making things. You may suddenly find yourself with a new creative outlet regarding, handcrafting or producing something like that with an artistic flair. Now, interesting again with more art on the lines of more art and creativity. Really, we have the swan, and the swan is a beautiful animal spirit that is also associated with refining your skills, refining your talents, especially if you're an artist, especially if you're creative, or if you are a writer. If you're a writer and you've gone away somewhere to write your great work, or you've gone to work on, maybe you've gone to a writer's retreat or something like that, this type of activity is governed by the spirit of the swan, because the swan is seeking to refine itself. It's seeking to refine its talent, its skill, its creative abilities, right? So the swan is really associated with a heightened sense of creative expression, but also a heightened level of ability, you know. Also, being a water animal spirit, the swan really talks about being able to sort of be emotionally invested in your art. Really, sometimes when we are artists or we're creative, and I mean an artist in every way, you can be a bookkeeper and still be artistic about your job, you know what I'm saying? But um what I mean to say with the swan is that a lot of times when we are creating something and we're being creative, it's that synergy when we don't have to think about how to do it. When you get to a certain level of talent and skill with something like that, and you're not thinking about it. It's like when you're playing an instrument and you're not thinking about where the notes are, you're just playing the notes. You've gotten to a certain level where you are comfortable with the instrument, and it's you're using it really to express yourself. Then the next level is involving your emotional self into it. You're, really expressing yourself emotionally. That's the level that we're talking about with the swan. Getting to that level of refinement with a certain ability where it's just where you're really able to express yourself fully. Now, the spider is another earth animal spirit, and this is interesting. The spider is associated with Dharma. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Dharma, when we have a spiritual outlook or a faith, say you are a Christian or you are Jewish or a Muslim or a Hindu, whatever your faith is, or even if it isn't an organized religion, um, we all have like a certain moral center, right? We have a certain moral center and a certain code, and that code to us is the right way of living. You know what I mean? It's the right, it's what we personally consider for ourselves to be the right way of living. And this is what we call Dharma. Now, in some religions, if you are organized into an organized religion, like perhaps you are a Jewish, right? You're Jewish, then there you would respect the Sabbath and you would eat, kosher food. And there's certain rituals that this will be part of Dharma. But then it's also certain ways of going through life, certain decisions that you make, the way you make your decisions. Like a Christian, a true Christian would want to help and help others, right? So that is part of their dharma. In all things, a Christian would seek in all things to know, what will Christ do? What will Christ want me to do? What will God want me to do in this situation? These types of thoughts and ideas and ways of living, this is all associated with Dharma and living a life of Dharma. And when you live a life of Dharma, it's interesting because when you are committed to your spiritual faith and you do live a life of Dharma, you live according to your right way, your decisions begin to make a pattern. And this is why the spider is associated with that, because the spider is always making its decisions and taking actions according to its Dharma, according to its right way of living. And so those decisions and actions are going to form a pattern. And this web, which is the pattern, is symbolic of the strong sort of spiritual and also financial. material support that the spider can provide for itself and its family by living like that. It's a very strong card, and it really talks about leading by example in a lot of ways. This is going to be maybe a Virgo who is really setting the standard for a way of conducting yourself under pressure, maybe under difficult circumstances, right? But you are adhering to your moral center. You're living a life of Dharma. And so you are also providing strong spiritual support for yourself, for your family. All right, let's get right into your spreads, guys. I will have to move something over in a minute so I can have enough room. Let me just move this over a little bit, because the one thing with these beautiful creatures cards is that they are so big. All right, let's get right into it. I'm going to pull out 3 spreads for you guys. This is the usual weekly outlook. I pull out 3 oracle cards. Whoa. And I'm not taking all those flyers. 3 oracle cards, 3 animal spirits, and then I pull out 3 forecasts, which really are intended to be separate from each other. So it's going to be really 3 outlooks for different Virgos, but you may resonate with a little bit of each, or you may not resonate with any of it, and that is just fine. So let's go ahead and cut your deck and get your first outlook out. 2 of Cups. I'm going to put that there. 2 of Cups, Page of Cups. And we have the Lovers. Interesting. A lot of love, right? 2 of Cups, Page of Cups, and the Lovers. So what's that all about? 2 of Cups. So some of you are coming into this week very much thinking about a particular love connection, a balanced love connection that you have with somebody. It's interesting. You have relationship and then you have inventiveness. In this deck, the Page of Cups, is considered a card for inventiveness, right? But so what we're talking about here is, for some of you, you may be trying to find a way to connect with your lover, to connect with your partner. There's a particular relationship and you're trying, I want to say this week, either you or your person is trying very much to reach out to you. But yes, they may have to indeed be very inventive about it, because right now everybody's finding it difficult to reach out. Everybody's finding it difficult to sort of, talk to people the way they normally would. Everyone is isolated. Everyone is being sort of told to stay away from each other. So there's a certain level of inventiveness that is required for you to make sure that people you love know you love them and that you can sort of still connect with them. By the end of the week, though, you round out with Lover's energy. And I think there may be a little bit of issue here. Right. There may be a little bit of angst or a little bit of, I want to say, pressure. It feels to me like there's a little bit of pressure here, because you have 2 of Cups, Page of Cups, and then Lovers. It seems to be all great. Why would it show up? I think for some of you, there may be a little bit of just worry in the relationship, because Lovers 6 and the Major Arcana 6 Lovers card is associated with harmony. 6 is the number for harmony. So what we're talking about here is really sort of, the give and take, right? When we're talking about a harmonious relationship, like the Lovers, it's not always great. Having harmony with somebody doesn't mean that everything's perfect all the time. A harmony means that, when the wave is high here, the wave is low there. When your wave is high, when you're at the apex of your wave, I'm low. That's the harmonic, So to have a harmonic between 2 people involves a give and take. And it involves, more than anything, the Lover's card is about how you get through the difficult times, more than how do you get through the good times. And I think that this is why this reading has come up for you, Virgo, because for some of you, I'm going to say there's some pressure on this relationship this weekend. You're probably going to be finding yourself having to deal with certain pressures that you're not used to having to deal with. All right, let's get your other spread out and see what the next one is. The Hermit. There you go. Of course, the Hermit would show up. Knight of Pentacles and 8 of Cups. So for those of you who are regulars on my channel, if you've been watching any of my other readings, you will know that the Hermit has shown up for every single reading. The Hermit showed up for all of the readings that I did yesterday. I think I did Leo, Cancer, Aries and or in Taurus, all three hermits showed up, and here we are again today. So of course, why not? I expected hermit to show up because all of us are, to a certain degree, being forced to live a somewhat hermited life. Well, now that it is showing up, this very card is showing up for every single reading. Let me see how this applies to you, Virgo. How is the hermit applying to you, since it is apparently applying to all the signs, right? How does the hermit apply to you this week, Virgo? How are you taking this moment um, to be forced in a way to be hermited? We are all, to a certain degree, being forced to be hermited, right? This is a worldwide phenomenon we're going through. And so are you looking inward? Are you having a moment of introspection while you're also being physically forced to a certain degree to be hermited? This could certainly be for a Virgo that is really having to pull away, right? Really having to isolate themselves. Knight of Pentacles and Eight of Cups. So it's interesting, though. I found that the way this hermit energy has really been manifesting for a lot of my collective is that a lot of us are taking the time now to really get in touch with our true feelings. And really, a lot of us are seeing certain relationships from a completely different viewpoint. And it could just be that the various pressures are highlighting certain issues in relationships that we have with people, whether they're romantic or friendship. These pressures and this different environment is highlighting things that would have never been highlighted otherwise. But this is happening for a lot of us. And this week you're coming in, I think, with this feeling. You also have had a bit of an eye opener with certain things as this time has pressed on. And this week, the experiences that you have this week resonate with Knight of Pentacles. So you're doing a lot of work. For some of you Virgos, you are still like plotting. You're still on your game. You're still working. You still have, Knight of Pentacles has a goal. And that goal is, he's going to go after it until he gets it, right? So that's what you're doing this week. And interestingly enough, though, you ran off the week with an Eight of Cups, which is a walking away from certain relationships. So I feel like you're carrying on. This is a reading for Virgo who's carrying on. They're keeping their eye on the prize despite all of the pressures, right? But you're realizing, because of the various circumstances that you're in right now, which are extraordinary for everyone, right? You're realizing certain things about a certain connection with someone, and you're walking away by the end of the week. I think you're disgusted. Like something happens where you see this person from a totally different light, or you say like, wow, like here I am. And I want to say it has something to do with work and the effort you're putting in. Because after a period of being on your own, being hermited and all of that, and then doing this hard work this week with the Knight of Pentacles, sort of being very single-minded towards a particular task, it's during the course of that something comes to light that makes you want to walk away. And you have Spirit of Staircase and Spirit of Armor. So it's like you are progressing, but something in your life certainly is making you feel like you need to be guarded or defensive. Right. So again, I want to say a lot of you are in situations where, the truth is coming out about a lot of people, and it's like you're seeing sides from people that you just didn't expect. Seven of Swords, Temperance energy, and Four of Cups. All right. All right, guys, this is the last spread. Seven of Swords. Interesting. So some of you are dealing with treachery. You're dealing with someone who's being quite treacherous, someone who's willing to be treacherous. Seven of Swords is the card for treachery. And I'm going to say, this is quite, a lot of times treachery is somebody who who's very close to you. A lot of times treachery goes on for quite some time before you realize it, before you realize who it is or what they've been doing. It is Seven of Swords is also the card for futility. So for some of you, sometimes what happens is if you're trying to accomplish something and you're just feeling like everything you're doing is futile, nothing is working out, right? Let me move this over a little bit. Nothing is working out, right? Sometimes it's a Seven of Swords energy in the sense that you don't realize that you have somebody behind the scenes actively working against you. Right. And so sometimes it is just futility on your part because you're just not making the right effort. But sometimes your efforts are not hitting home because you don't even realize that there's another energy out there working against you. In either case, you're coming into the week with this. And interestingly enough, I think you know who it is. And I think that you probably have figured it out, right? You've either figured it out or you've come to some information, and so you know who you're dealing with here. But this week, the experiences you have, you resonate with temperance energy. And temperance, I love this card. This is the card for Sagittarius in the tarot. I'm a Sagittarius myself, but I love temperance energy apart from that because uh, temperance and strength card, they have similarities. Whereas strength is when we are sort of, you know, making sure that our inner emotions are not in control, that we are in control. Temperance is when we do not let outside forces control us. So we don't react. Temperance is the strength to not react, to have such control and dominion over yourself and over your own reactions and feelings and sense of self. This is about having such control and understanding of who you are that nobody can trigger you. The only time anybody could actually, the only time anyone can trigger someone, and we all have triggers, by the way. Okay. This is not judgment. This is just a statement of sort of understanding. We all get triggered. When we're triggered, it's because we aren't 100% confident on a particular position. If we're 100% totally committed and confident on a particular position, then nobody can trigger us. If we know that we're 100%, crude example, if you know that you are beautiful, unequivocally know that you are beautiful, no matter what you look like, you in your heart know that you are beautiful, then someone calling you ugly or making fun of you can never trigger you. It just can't. Now, if you have a little bit of doubt, even just a little bit of doubt, you may be a very very confident person, but there may be a little sliver of doubt there, a little bit of insecurity or self-esteem, just a little. That's enough. That the right person saying the right thing at the right time about your looks could be enough to trigger you. You could get upset about it. Why? Because there is that tiny little bit of doubt there somewhere deep down inside. And I'm not saying that as a judgment. I'm saying that that's a human thing. We all have that. Now, temperance is the ability to have such confidence, such control of yourself that you simply do not react to anyone outside of yourself. You are totally tempered. It is the second four, the 14. The first four is the emperor. So if you think of the emperor having dominion of men on earth, temperance is having dominion of yourself. And so after finding all of this treachery coming in, Virgo, this is a beautiful card to get. This is a beautiful energy for you to come into, which is why I spent the moment on it. Because by the end of the week, you round out with a 4 of Cups. This person who's been very treacherous is going to try to come back to you. I think they're going to try to come back and reconcile. They may try to come back and apologize. Whatever the case may be, they are trying to have another go. And 4 of Cups is that cup of love coming into you from this person. And you say no. You say no way. You realize that they've been treacherous. You've seen them for, who they are. And the idea that they can come back now is just not going to happen. And not only that, it's interesting. I think they feel like they can come back because you've shown so much temperance. Sometimes when somebody does something horrible or when somebody is treacherous to us, right, and we know that they've been treacherous, we know that they've worked against us, instead of reacting and showing anger, when you can react with poise, grace, spirit of the swan also represents strong grace now, right? Grace, poise, and temperance energy. You really throw people for a loop. And I'm going to tell you something. You will find, especially in these type of situations, when you react with temperance, meaning when you show and truly don't feel the need to react, even in a difficult situation like this, you will find that people will come to you and apologize, will reconcile, because they're not faced with that sort of aggression that people would normally be faced with when they've done something wrong. you're being poised, you're maintaining yourself with temperance. And generally what will happen is a Four of Cups. They will come back because they'll either feel like, oh, well, it's safe for me to talk to Virgo again, because look, they're not upset, or, or they are faced with their own guilt and they come in anyway. But just the fact that you remain poised and in power and in your power and not reacting to it, it can really throw people for a loop. And oftentimes a Four of Cups sort of event will follow when they try to come back in and hand you a cup of love and say, hey, can we get over this? Or is it done? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry. And that is the perfect time to say no. You know what I mean? That is the perfect time to say, well, actually, no. Just because I didn't react like a vicious animal to what you did to me doesn't mean that I want you near me or close to me, that I accept your apology, or that there is any way forward. It just means that I know how to carry my life and carry myself so that what you do to me is not something I'm going to suffer under. It's something you'll suffer under because of your guilt, but not me. So this is how you round off your week. It's very strong. Very, very strong indeed. And those of you who are resonating with this last one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I hope that you come back and sound off in the comments when you tell your person to hit the bricks because you're not interested in their apologies. By the way, Spirit of Gold is coming in for some of you. So that's strong wealth, status, windfall. My readings for my collective has continued to show wealth, status, windfalls. Beautiful, beautiful energy. All right, Virgo, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope the vocals and the sound was okay. I see people continuing to stay and watch, so I'm just assuming you can hear me all right. Working out my technical difficulties. If you enjoyed this video, if you like my reading, please subscribe. Don't forget, I'm giving this deck away. This deck that I use today, every month I give a deck away on my channel, and this month it's the Beautiful Creatures Tarot Guidebook box set. It's a gorgeous box set, glossy box set. It's really, really nice. I love these cards. And all you have to do is be subscribed. Leave me a comment letting me know you're interested. And most importantly, come back to my channel at the end of the month and check to see if you're the winner. I can't contact you guys unless you email me first. So even if I announce you as my subscriber and as the winner, I still need you to contact me. I need you to know you've won, and I need you to email me at bowandarrowtarot@gmail.com and give me your address so I can have it shipped to you, right? So that's the most important part, is to come back on April 30th and check the winner video. But for right now, Virgo, have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay kind to each other, and I see you at the next Virgo reading. Bye-bye, guys.